I also propose to overhaul the subsidy regime, including food and petroleum subsidies, and make it more targeted and provide full protection to the marginalized, poor, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. A new urea policy would be formulated. The debate on whether to introduce the goods and services tax must now come to an end. We have discussed the issue for the past many years. Some states have been apprehensive about surrendering their taxation jurisdiction. Others want to be adequately compensated. I have discussed the matter with the states both individually and collectively. I do hope we are able to bring a final solution in this course of this year and approve the legislative scheme which enables the introduction of the GST. This will streamline tax administration, avoid harassment of business, and result in higher tax collection both for the centre and the states. I assure all states that government will be more than fair in dealing with them. Tax administration. I hope the investor community, both within India and abroad, will repose confidence on our stated position and participate in India's growth story with renewed vigour. National Academy for Customs and Excise at Hindupur in Andhra Pradesh.
వ్యవసాయ రంగానికి బడ్జెట్లో ఎన్డీఏ ప్రభుత్వం పెద్దపీట వేసింది. దేశానికి పట్టుకొమ్మలాంటి ఈ రంగంలో రెండో హరిత విప్లవానికి నాంది పలుకుతామని ఆర్థిక మంత్రి అరుణ్ జైట్లీ హామీ ఇచ్చారు. భూమి లేని రైతులకు రుణాలు ఇచ్చేందుకు ప్రభుత్వం చర్యలు చేపట్టనుందని వెల్లడించారు.
We are committed to sustaining a growth of 4% in agriculture, and for this we will bring technology-driven second green revolution with focus on higher productivity and include a protein revolution in an area of major focus. As a large number of landless farmers are unable to provide land title as guarantee, institutional finance is denied to them and they become vulnerable to money lenders. Usurious lending. I propose to provide finance to 5 lakh joint farming groups of Bhumihin Kisan through NABARD in the current financial year.
ధరల్లో అస్థిరత్వం కారణంగా రైతులకు నష్టం కలగకుండా ప్రత్యేక నిధిని ఏర్పాటు చేయనున్నట్లు జైట్లీ ప్రకటించారు.
Price volatility in agriculture produces and creates certain uncertainties and hardships to the farmers. To mitigate this, I am providing a sum of rupees 500 crores for establishing a price stabilization fund.
బ్యాంకుల ద్వారా వ్యవసాయ రంగానికి ఇచ్చే రుణాలు మరింత పెంచనున్నట్లు జైట్లీ తెలిపారు.
Banks are providing strong credit support to agricultural sector. A target of 8 lakh crores has been set aside for agriculture credit during 2014-15, for which I am confident that banks will surpass. Under the interest subvention scheme for short-term crop loans, banks are extending loans to farmers at a concessional rate of 7%. The farmers will get a further incentive of 3% for timely repayment. I propose to continue the scheme for 2014-15.
ప్రభుత్వ ప్రైవేట్ భాగస్వామ్యంతో వ్యవసాయ పరిశోధనలు చేపట్టాల్సిన అవసరం ఉందని జైట్లీ పేర్కొన్నారు.
To make farming competitive and profitable, there is an urgent need to set up investment, both public and private, in agro-technology and development and creation of modernization and easing of agricultural business infrastructure. And Agricultural Research Institute, Pune, has been in the forefront of research in this area. However, since independence, only one of the such centers has been established. Government will establish 2 more such institutions of excellence of similar pattern in Assam and Jharkhand with an initial sum of rupees 100 crores in the current financial years.
రైతుల కోసం కిసాన్ టీవీని ప్రారంభించనున్నట్లు జైట్లీ వెల్లడించారు.
Of skills and training in the ancestral arts for development of minorities, called the upgrading of traditional arts and resource goods, would be launched to preserve the traditional arts crafts with a rich heritage. An additional amount of rupees 100 crores for modernization of madrasas has been provided in the Department of School Education. Investment in the National Highway Authority of India and the state roads of an amount of rupees 37,880 crores.
which will include rupees 3,000 crores for the Northeast. During the CFY, a target of national highway construction of 8,500 crores will be achieved. A modern nation needs multiple sources of transportation. A country of India's size must have a transport network which can ensure faster travel across the cities which are geographically distant. This will also improve the supply chain in transporting goods across cities. We will initiate work on selective expressways in parallel to the development of industrial corridor. A project preparation of NHAI shall be set aside. For project preparation, NHAI will be set aside a further sum of rupees 500 crores.
Input for economic growth, and the government is committed to providing 24/7 uninterrupted power supply to all homes. The Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana for feeder separation will be launched to augment power supply to the rural areas and strengthening the sub-transmission and distribution systems. I propose to set aside 500 crores for this purpose. Consolidation is a fiscal deficit of 3.6% for 2015-16 and 3% for 2016-17. I am conscious of the fact that the Iraq crisis is leaving behind an impact on oil prices, and the situation in the Middle East continues to be volatile. Monsoon this year appears to be more unpredictable, while inflation has remained at elevated levels relative to what it is perceived as acceptable. There is a gradual moderation in the WPI recently, from a high of 7.35% in 2012-13 to 5.98% in 2013-14. But we are still not out of the woods. We must address fully the problem of black money, which is a curse on our economy. Faced with these adversities, we have no option but to undertake some bold steps in order to enhance economic activity, to spur growth in the economy. These steps are only the beginning of our effort to revive the growth spirit of the Indian economy. They are directional.
Industrial corridor with its headquarters at Pune is being set up to coordinate the deployment of the industrial corridors with smart cities linked to the transport connectivity, which will be the cornerstone of the strategy to drive India's growth in manufacturing and urbanization. I have provided an initial corpus of rupees 100 crores for this purpose. The Amritsar-Kolkata industrial master planning will be completed expeditiously for establishment of an industrial smart cities in 7 states of India. The master planning of these 3 smart cities is the Chennai-Bengaluru Industrial Corridor region, the Puneri in Tamil Nadu, Krishnapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, Tumkur in Karnataka will also be completed. The prospective plan for the Bengaluru-Mumbai Economic Corridor and the Vizag-Chennai Corridor would be completed with the provision of 20 new industrial clusters. Kakinada, its adjoining area, and the port will be developed as key drivers of economic growth in the region with special focus on hardware manufacturing. It will be our endeavour to engage the states to take India's export to a higher growth trajectory. It is proposed to establish an export promotion mission to bring all stakeholders under one umbrella.
Of a rapid recovery, our banking system needs to be further strengthened. To be in line with the Basel III norms, there is a requirement to infuse 240,000 crores rupees as equity by 2018 in our banks. To meet this huge capital requirement, we need to raise additional resources to fill this obligation. While preserving the public ownership, the capital of these banks will be raised by increasing the shareholding of the capital in a phased manner through sale of shares largely through retail common citizens in the country. Thus, while government will continue to hold majority shareholding, the citizens of India will also get direct shareholding in these banks, which currently they hold indirectly. We will also examine the proposal to give greater autonomy to banks while making them accountable. Wage and self-employment opportunities in rural areas. However, wage employment would be provided under the Manrega through works that are more productive, asset-creating, substantially linked to agriculture and allied activities. Ajivika, the National Rural Livelihood Mission, aims at eliminating rural poverty through sustainable livelihood options. Under this mission, women SCGs are provided bank loans at 4% to prompt repayment in 150 districts and 7% in other districts. I propose to extend the provisions of bank loan for women SCGs at 4% in another 100 districts. I propose to set up a startup village entrepreneurship scheme for encouraging rural youth to take up local entrepreneurship programs. I am providing a sum of rupees 100 crores for this. Eminent need to further bridge and divide the human digital divide between the haves and the have-nots. For this, it is proposed to launch a pan-India program, Digital India. This would ensure broadband connectivity at village level, improved access to services through IT-enabled programs, greater transparency in government processes, and increased indigenous production of the IT hardware and software of exports and improved domestic availability. Special focus will be on supporting software product startups, a national rural internet and technology mission service in villages and trainings in IT and e-Kranti for the government services delivery and governance scheme is also proposed. I have provided a sum of rupees 500 crores for this purpose. Overall, two key initiatives, that is the free drug service and free diagnostic service, would be taken up on a priority. In order to achieve a universal access to each quality diagnosis and treatment to TB patients, two National Institutes of Aging will be set up at the AIIMS, New Delhi and Madras Medical College, Chennai, a national-level research with referral institute for higher dental studies would also be set up in one of the existing dental institutions. It is a matter of great satisfaction that all the 6 new AIIMS at Jodhpur, Bhopal, Patna, Rishikesh, Bhubaneswar and Raipur, which were a part of the Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana, have become functional. A plan to set up 4 more AIIMS institutions in Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Vidarbha in Maharashtra and Purvanchal is under consideration. It is proposed to add 12 more government medical colleges. In addition, dental facilities will also be provided in these hospitals. And let me add that in the coming years of the government, each year in the states where there is no AIIMS, we'll be adding it to make sure that there is an AIIMS created in every state in the country. Is one of the major priorities of the government. Government would strive to provide toilets and drinking waters in all the girls' schools in the first place. An amount of rupees 28,635 crore is being funded by the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and 4,966 crores by the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. A school assessment program is being initiated at a cost of rupees 30 crores. To infuse the training tools and innovative teachers, the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya New Teachers Training Program is being launched. I am setting aside a sum of rupees 500 crores for this. To take advantage of the reach of the IT, I propose to allocate a sum of rupees 100 crores for setting up a virtuous classroom as communication-linked interface for cultivating knowledge on the online courses. Of courses of higher learning, which are of the world class. I propose to set up the Loknayak Jayaprakash Narayan National Center for Excellence in Humanities in Madhya Pradesh. I also intend to set up 5 more IITs in Jammu, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala. 5 more IIMs would be set up in the state of Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Bihar, Orissa and Maharashtra. I propose to set up an amount of rupees 500 crores for this. Government also proposes to ease and simplify norms and facilitate education of loans for higher education. A national multi-skill program called Skill India is proposed to be launched. It would skill the youth for an emphasis of employability and entrepreneurial skills. It will also provide training and support for traditional professions like welders, carpenters, cobblers, masons, blacksmiths, weavers. Convergence of various schemes to attain this objective is also proposed. Has a hunger to use the opportunity that society provides for them. Slow decision-making has resulted in a loss of opportunity. 2 years of sub 5% growth in the Indian economy has resulted in a challenging situation. We look forward to lower levels of inflation as compared to the days of double-digit rates of food inflation in the last 2 years. The country is in no mood to suffer unemployment, inadequate basic amenities, lack of infrastructure, and apathetic governance.